Tour de France Femmes. Lizzie Holden says rebirth of race will witness 8 days of aggressive racing. Holden feels 8 days of racing is long enough and great viewing for fans amid discussions over whether to match men's schedule. I hear most of the men say that 3 weeks is incredibly long. British cyclist wants to focus on growth of sport and feels new event will hit right spot. British cyclist Lizzie Holden says the return of the Tour de France Femmes will showcase how shorter stages can produce more exciting and aggressive racing and questioned the value in races that stretch for weeks. It is over 30 years since the last official women's Tour de France was staged by tour organizers. While other races have been launched during that period, excitement is building ahead of Sunday's opening stage on the Parisian streets for the all-new race that follows the conclusion of the men's tour. Sponsored link. Wall Street legend's secret warning. A strange day is coming. Visionary prophet. Recommended by. It is an historic moment that Isle of Man born and raised Holden can't wait to be part of, even if the brutal 8-day race spreading some 1,029 km across France featuring gravel sectors and back-to-back mountain stages will push the world-class 24-team peloton to the limits. The women's version may be 13 stages fewer than the men's race, which was first organized in 1903, yet Holden believes discussions around whether the women's race should emulate the same 3-week format and route as the men's needs to look to the science. Some women would love to race for 3 weeks, but for me personally 8 days is still a lot. Holden, who forms part of the 6-women British team Le Col Wahoo, told Sky Sports News. If you ask the men, they would also say that 8 days is enough. I hear most of them say that 3 weeks, for the Tour de France, is incredibly long. All the key figures of Le Tour de France Femmes avec at Go Zwift 2022. All you need to know https://t.co/o0 keyboardiarchhdff watch the femspic.twitter.com/ukagevp3m6x. Le Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift, at Le Tour Femmes, July 22, 2022. At the end of the day, there's the science to factor in. I am not a scientist, but you have to understand that there are factors that limit us as females. That's not an opinion, that's the science. I think 8 days will be enough. I think women's cycling is very exciting to watch because it's mainly shorter stages. It allows us to be more aggressive throughout the race and attack. As it was, growing up on the Isle of Man and the daughter of former pro Rob Holden, the 24-year-old couldn't quite imagine the day when she would be able to riding the pinnacle of professional cycling. During her school years, she would often be asked if one day she would compete in the Tour de France, only for the reality to hit home. I grew up watching the tour on TV. It would be on from start to finish and then I'd watch the highlights in the evening. It was non-stop, she said. When I was younger, I wasn't thinking oh it's just men racing. I was always into cycling and when people asked me at school are you going to be in the Tour de France, I always said well it's actually not possible. Now we actually have an event, so it's a big change. In recent years, La Course, launched in 2014, saw riders compete in the one-day race on the Champs-Élysées ahead of the final stage of the men's race. Those races have felt different. Holden, who has claimed 5 top 10 finishes on the World Tour calendar this year. They've been at the start of the men's tour, so it's nice that you get the atmosphere, but it has always felt like you were a bit of a sideshow. No one knew what it was, or what was happening. The Tour de Femmes has been really well advertised. Every time I watch the tour now it comes up as an advert. I think it will be really big. There are challenges that come with life on the road. The periods of isolation, the difficulty in sleeping, moving from hotel bed to hotel bed, the endless bowls of pasta. Holden says she can't travel anywhere now without her earplugs, eye mask and other home comforts such as her own pillow. To grow the audience of women's cycling and celebrate the at Le Tour Femmes, we've partnered with @GCN Tweet to give away 10,000 GCN passes so more can watch the race and get more eyes on her. Read more here. https://t.co/woj4kp2 koshcolorthrode hashhtdffpic.twitter.com/talk0qfeme. Le Col Wahoo, at Le Col Wahoo. July 22, 2022. Her family will not be able to cheer her on in France, but she is looking forward to catching up with them in Birmingham for the Commonwealth Games following the conclusion of the tour. There won't be any time for downtime after the tour as I head straight to Birmingham. But I am lucky to be going into another big event. I'll also likely catch up with Mark Cavendish there. When I was first getting into racing at the age of 12, I went with my dad down to the local clubs and was constantly surrounded by professional cyclists like Mark and Pete Kennaugh. It was so exciting to see them and just ride along with them. That was a huge help in my career. There may not be let up in the schedule for Holden at present, but she wouldn't have it any other way. If it grows the sport she loves and inspires the next generation, it has all been worth it. That is the main focus for the Manx rider, who doesn't feel that discussions around disparity in prize money, which currently sees this year's men's winner earn £430,000 compared to £41,746 for the women's champion, should be of top priority. With all of the tour on TV every day, hopefully the fan base will grow and more people will be interested in the sport. That's the most important thing for women's cycling at this moment in time. People keep asking about the prize money and stuff, but that's not the most important factor. We still need the following, and once that grows, then more sponsors want to be involved and the sport in general will grow. The Tour de Femmes starts this Sunday, July 24th at 12:30 p.m. with an 82-kilometer stage from the Eiffel Tower to the Champs-Élysées.